Hey guys, what's going on? This is Benjamin with Benjamin Exotics, and in today's video, this is the first ever live stream we've ever attempted to do, and overall, my camera is very touchy because it is more of a sort of almost Chromebook style and quality camera, and the audio is not going to come out the best that it could be, but I will be upgrading cameras soon in terms of being able to live stream, and this is overall just the first ever test I wanted to do on live streaming, just to learn how the chat works and anything like this. I see that it says end stream. It shows the voice box and different things like that. Shows how many people are here, the likes and everything like that. So overall, we're going to run this for maybe 10, 20 minutes. I don't even know if we'll keep this video up on the channel. We might, I'll put it in a database that I have. But overall, we're just going to talk about a few different things, answer any questions that do come up through the live stream. And this is more of a learning curve for me, just learning about how this live streaming thing actually works. And I don't know if we're going to get even anybody on here today because of the quality of the camera and just my scheduling and stuff. It's like, 12:26 in the morning, basically, PM. So it's sort of around noon. But overall, we're just going to go over a few things in this video. I don't have a set topic, but we'll go through a few different things. And like I said, it'll kind of be, smashed together because this is sort of just a test for me to learn how the live streaming actually works. And I will be upgrading cameras shortly after this video because I just want to get a sort of a touch and a feel for how this live streaming thing works. I know TGH, the Genetic Hunters, they do a lot of live streaming. I think they do it almost every single day. So I might actually have to send Ed over some different questions and stuff on the live streaming, just about how it works and everything like that. But first of all, I guess we can just talk about is I thought we'd talk about, just ball python care in general and just kind of the relationship between ball python keepers and breeders. I thought that'd be a decent topic to talk about. And also I'll be watching and just see if anybody does join. So one of the most interesting things I think about, when we talk about the relationship between ball python breeders and keepers is, just overall, it really truly is a community and a connected system. And I really think that the breeder's standpoint, not only to produce amazing quality babies and snakes or reptiles, whatever species you're breeding, but it's also to inform the next generation of information and to be supportive to other people when they're coming into this amazing hobby and community. Because lots of the time, guys would not believe, I don't know if you guys already have YouTube channels, whoever is watching, that do stuff on ball python care, any sort of reptile care, but you would not believe how many emails or horror stories I get per week on people getting false information from breeders, or somebody tells them something online that isn't correct. I've seen, burnt bellies just recently, problems with eating. People are telling people to feed their ball pythons way too small of meals or to never, ever feed live. And these ball pythons are starving to death, or they're having, extreme problems with shedding, or just all these problems. And I just have to go back and be like, where did you get this ball python from? And I talked to some people, and lots of people even say stuff like, I bought it off Morph Market. And I'm not knocking Morph Market at all. Morph Market is an amazing platform, but, just smaller breeders on Morph Market and stuff that aren't, the big guys, I guess, or even you could get ripped off by the bigger breeders. I don't personally know. But I know that on a Morph Market, they've even gone to pet stores and stuff. They get the snake. It seems good at first, but then over time, they have problems, and they can't get the information from those breeders or those keepers, sellers, wholesalers, whatever you want to call them. The people that sold them the animal either don't have the information or aren't willing to help them and support them in their sort of pursuit of keeping a ball python as a pet or any species of reptile. And I see this, all the time. And I've probably got in the last month easily 5, maybe even 10 emails and pictures from people that they're, for instance, most recent ones is the pet shops tell them to only feed mice or to only feed frozen thawed rats or frozen thawed mice. You can see the problems with both. If you only feed mice, eventually your snake is going to, it's not going to be enough calories for them to actually sustain their body weight, and they're going to lose weight. Or even with the ones with the frozen thawed, they just say, keep waiting and just keep waiting to see if the snake will actually take a frozen thawed and never, ever, ever feed live. And then you have problems with the snake starving out, and then also with humidity and stuff. I hear these pet shops giving out information like, 80% humidity. And then you see the snakes having problem with scale rot, not only on their belly, but their sides and all these different things. So if you guys are out there and you are watching this video and you own any sort of channel or you run any sort of channel on YouTube, or if you just are someone that gives information to different people, that like to care for reptiles, I think it's so important that you do support other people in your community when caring for this stuff, because the real relationship, I think, between breeders and keepers, if you want to call it, a relationship, is basically the breeders are supposed to provide, in my opinion, they should be providing the highest quality ball pythons that they can produce, picking the best from the best, breeding them together to get the healthiest, biggest, strongest, and most colorful babies. And then the people, the consumers, the ball python keepers are the ones that go out and either, purchase those animals or buy them. But it's not just to produce quality ball pythons. It's also to help support them along the way. Because if you don't, basically, if you are a breeder and you don't support that person, it's kind of almost a aspect of natural selection. Because, if you're a breeder that goes out and you try to scam a bunch of people, or if you're a breeder that goes out and you don't have the right information, eventually the people that are buying from you or are purchasing animals from you are going to catch on. And when they catch on, it spreads like viral online. You can Google anybody's reviews. You can get a pretty good feel for if most people feel that they've been ripped off and if they don't give any support, or if they're a great breeder like Brian Barczyk, or, you even have Camp Kennan that does lots of stuff with tortoises, or you also have, even some of the smaller people like CMC Reptiles. These guys that are, they have amazing collections, and even though their names aren't the biggest, their reviews really do tell the quality of the animals and the overall just quality of the support that they are going to give you. And if you guys have been paying attention, in the beginning of this video, I started out with a ball python around my neck, and he actually jumped off on the floor and is behind me. So give me one quick second to go grab him so he doesn't get under something. Gotta make sure that doesn't happen a second time. But overall, I really do just feel, even if you're only running even a small YouTube channel like myself, whether you have, 10 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 500 subscribers, or 1,000 subscribers, the information you need to be putting forth, or the information that you should be putting forth, whether you want to plan to breed or not, and most people that watch this channel do not ever plan to breed. The amount of information and the quality of information that you do spread to other people or share with other people is just, it's very important, especially for, the new keepers. Because if someone comes into this community and they come in and they see, all these people that are trying to scam them, and all these people that are giving false information for, reasons that they don't even know, whether the person doesn't actually know their animals and doesn't know the care that they actually need, or whether the person is literally just trying to scam them in general. It's very important that that relationship is kind of kept with the people that are either keeping them or breeding them, are putting forth the highest quality of information so the people come into the community and they see, what the community is actually about, not just a bunch of scammers or people trying to sell you false information. The truth in the matter is just, we need to have complete honesty and integrity in the information we are sharing with our different ball python, or any reptile for that matter, in the reptile community. And, like I've said, many breeders, they go out and they scam, and in the short term, it can seem like a good idea because, you can scam a certain amount of people. And I'm not, of course, not endorsing scamming, but they, do the logic and they go, well, I can, get this much extra money. And yeah, that might be true. In the short term, you can scam a bunch of people and they can, get ball pythons from you or whatever species, and you might make some more money. But in the long term, your reviews are going to follow you and your reputation is going to follow you as well. And anybody that's, going to be buying any sort of reptile from you is going to see, the quality of information that you put out and the quality of animals that you put out. And your reviews are just huge when trying to determine and sort of build a relationship between ball python breeders and keepers. And it looks like we have some people watching now. So I'll go down in the comments and I'll answer your guys' questions or comments in a second. But overall, it's just, I've seen so many problems in the last month or so. People getting wrong information from ball python keepers or even breeders. And I think it's so important that we do share the information that's truthful and has integrity to the new people coming into the community. And I can see we got, I think it's 2 or 3 people watching right now. Looks like it's 2. We have one like, what's going on, Fungi and International Exotics? Let's see, very true. I'd never scam anyone. Definitely got to build the reputation. Yes, indeed. And let's see, what is this? Got it. Okay, so it looks like we have a few people watching right now. And basically, I'll probably upload this just to do a rerun. But it's just, I'll kind of do a recap for anybody that's watching now. I've just, over the last few weeks, we have so many different people that are being, scammed to different stuff like that by breeders. And, well, I'm not sort of into the, whole name and shame sort of ball game. If we are even just keeping ball pythons or breeding any sort of reptile, it's so imperative and important that the information we're giving out is true. Like I said, you can scam and it might look good in the short term, but in the long term, it's really not only messing up the reptile community as a whole, but you're going to be screwing yourself in the end, which is just, something that is not good for business or anything like that. So let's see. We have Phone Guy, International Exotics, a few people like that watching. And again, this is sort of just thrown together because I wanted to see how the live streaming actually works. And my camera will be upgraded relatively soon. But let's see. If you guys have any topics, comments, anything you want to discuss, you can go ahead and put it in the comments, and I'll try to sort of discuss it on this. Yeah, I've heard of people being scammed, and even myself. I know for some of the people that are watching the rerun of this, or even if you're on, people that have been long-term subscribers, I haven't been ripped off barely at all in doing the stuff that I do, mostly because I talk to other people and I only buy from breeders that I know other people have had good experience with. But I did have one guy that sold me a Heifer Clown ball python normal female that was about a year old, and I got her home, and I don't know why I couldn't see it at the show, but she had respiratory infection and everything like that. And I think it took the guy like 2 months to actually respond to me. And once I got a hold of him, it wasn't even because he finally decided to respond to the emails I sent him. It was basically because we had contacted the Reptile Expo and told the people that this guy was, basically he scammed us and he wouldn't even, communicate with us to make it right or even support us in any way. And the snake did pass away 5 days after I had it, even with, treatment for the respiratory infection with sort of antibiotics and stuff like that. Still passed away, but we contacted the thing and he said, he may, he sent us a little paper over saying that he might refund it or he might not refund it, but we'll have to go to the expo and see. But like with that guy right there, I haven't named him, and I don't even know if I'm going to shame him because I don't really like, the whole name and shame game. But if anybody goes online and if I do put his name out, which, like I said, I don't want to be, act like I'm threatening, but if I did ever put his name out, hypothetically, people would go on, they see the YouTube videos, they see how sick the snake I got was. And not only is he impacting the community in a very negative way, because people are looking at it and going, look at this guy. This is really how the reptile community is. It's all dirty and it's scammers. But not only in the future is that going to impact the reptile community as a whole, but when someone goes to buy a snake from him, they type his name into Google or YouTube, and someone's channel like mine could pop up, show the person, what this person has done, the quality, and even if it doesn't represent all of their animals. I understand if a breeder has 1 or 2 animals that they sell that are sick. Lots of these breeders have hundreds of snakes. But when you not only sell them a snake that you probably knew was sick, but when you sell them a snake that, is sick, which could be an accident in complete honesty, but then you don't have that support or the information to back it up, it's really just something that has a huge negative impact on the reptile community as a whole. And it says, yeah, that's a bummer. Had something similar happen to there we go, with an iguana. Yeah, it's just, I don't think it's too big of a problem. And overall, most breeders are, pretty decent. And I know lots of breeders that are friends of mine that have been breeding reptiles, 20, 30 years, stuff like that, normally around 20. And these guys are great guys, but then you do have new guys that are coming in that are just focused on the money. And when you are running any sort of reptile business or industry or anything like that, while you do want to have, a certain focus on the money, or not a focus on the money, how do I say it? It has to be economically feasible. You can't just go out and, say that you're going to spend $1,000 a year on your ball pythons in decorations, but then only produce $100 in, babies. But you don't want to think about it just as the money, because if you just focus on the money, you get problems with greed and stuff like that. But it has to be economically feasible. Okay, you can't go out and be losing, a certain amount of money. The dream is to be, in my opinion, to be able to have an amazing collection of ball pythons, maybe breed half of them or something like that, sell the babies off so you break even or you make a small amount of money. So you're basically keeping these reptiles, these amazing animals, for free. And I think that's, something that it has a huge impact on the reptile community as a whole. And, it's just all about, integrity and honesty in the information that we are giving out to people. And that's what I try to do on my YouTube channel. I go through and I probably, my sort of posting has slowed down over the last few, I guess you could say, weeks. And that's due to, work and stuff like that. I have a sort of, you can consider a part-time job. And then I also sell stuff online and I do different things like that. And I'm doing that to not only, put money in the bank for me for future things that don't have to do with reptiles, but for, feeding the reptiles and giving them the best quality, care possible. Or the best, how do I say it, the highest quality care that we can be giving them. And that's why my sort of posting has slowed down. I do want to start kicking it up a notch and start doing more live streams, because these guys are easy to do. I don't have to do any editing or anything like on these guys. I can just, put them out, and it's still good information, But with the other videos, I like to do editing, and that's why it can take a while, where I used to be posting a video a day. And I really do try to focus on quality over quantity. So we are producing, videos that are helping the most amount of people without, just having a bunch of videos out there that are sort of, iffy on the quality. And where does this snake keep going? I keep having the ball python on my neck, and he keeps jumping off. So let me go grab him real quick. Hopefully he didn't slither. Oh, no, he's all the way over here. I keep feeling this guy go off, and I think he's just on the floor, but he got all the way over there. So I got to pay attention to this guy. Definitely, yeah. So overall, like I said, it's just quality over quantity and integrity of this stuff that we are selling. And yeah, escape artist. Yeah, this guy is the only snake that's actually been able to get out of a tub and rack system that I've seen. He's actually got himself wedged between the wood and the container and like pushed it out. And I think he's got out probably 2 or 3 times, and I don't endorse that at all. And now I have extra precautions making sure that doesn't happen. But my reptile room is completely locked down. I have, a little thing that goes on the bottom of the ground, so it sort of blocks it so they can't go under the door, and there's nowhere they can escape if they do get out. But of course, that's another point that I'll address really quickly. Just make sure anybody watching that you do have good, secure caging for your ball pythons, because, every time a snake gets out, it's not a big deal if it's, something small, but you do have these things where, even in the media really does, that I'll talk about a little bit of a different subject now in terms of the media. First thing with the media, like I said, whenever a snake gets out, if it's a small snake and nobody knows about it, it's fine. If it's a big Burmese python, or even if it's a ball python and it freaks some people out, the media just blows up. And then all these people that could be, in the future, potential reptile keepers or potential reptile lovers, just that one moment or that one sort of set of circumstances can completely change the way someone thinks about a certain, reptile. They see, oh my gosh, a snake got out and it could have eaten somebody. And why would I want to have one of these as pets? What's going on, 30 Family Balls? Hopefully I don't butcher any of these names. That should be right. But you see all these things, and the media won't tell you. Mainstream media and stuff. I'm not against, all the media, but the local news and stuff, they're not going to tell you when somebody does something amazing and they have a great quality for their animal, or when they have, if someone has an amazing facility, or if they're helping people out in keeping pet snakes. They're not going to cover that. They're only going to cover the stuff that's going to get lots of views, lots of eyes. And even though publishing the good stuff might get out, some, I guess you could say, views and eyes in terms of the media and stuff like that, when they post something bad or something negative, everybody gets worked up about it and they all go to it. And that's one of the big problems, I think, with the sort of news in terms of the way that it's set up in society today. But that's why I think YouTube and Instagram and all these things are such amazing platforms, because on YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that, it doesn't cost barely anything. In fact, if you own a phone, it costs basically nothing to start a YouTube channel, to put out positive and truthful information about these amazing animals and reptiles. And, overall, it's something that I think the news and mainstream media, they just keep posting negative and more negative things. And over time, I do believe that YouTube and Instagram are just going to completely wipe those guys off the platform, because there's so much more positive, truthful, and, overall more beneficial information on YouTube and stuff like that. And I try to do that on my YouTube channel, trying to give people, like I say, the best possible care they can have for their ball pythons or any reptiles in general, and overall the most accurate information as well. I show, how we keep ball pythons in racks and stuff like that. Some people don't agree with me that you should keep them in racks, but I've kept them in racks and cages. And to be honest, some snakes do better in cages, and some snakes do better in racks. It's kind of just a personal preference thing, not to the owner, but for the snake. But let's see what it says. You should join us on the genetic hunters at 6 p.m. Yeah, I try to catch the genetic hunters as much as those guys go up, because I really like what TGH is doing on their channel. And I think that, besides the timing and stuff like that, most of the time if I'm working part-time, I'm getting home, or I'm going out to work at about 9 in the morning, and then I'm getting back home at around 8 to 9, because I not only have to, close down shop and everything, but then if I have anything else to do, errands to run, stores to go to for the reptiles, it takes a little bit longer. But I do try to catch them as much as I can. And my work schedule has got a little bit busier, but I do like to catch them. Their live stream really does put out some amazing content that I like. And he's trying to escape again. I'm going to watch him this time. But TGH, I think honestly they're one of the most interesting, I guess, reptile channels that I've seen in quite a long time, because they're not. I'm not. This is not bashing them. Of course, I really love their YouTube channel TGH, but they're really an interesting channel and an interesting concept I have not before, I think, ever seen in the reptile community, or if I have, or if it's been out there, I just haven't witnessed it. And what they're really doing is, I mean, they do release care videos, I believe. They've got a lot of videos out there, guys. I haven't checked all of them, but they do release care videos. They release videos on the actual snakes themselves. I think they've done some morph videos and stuff like that. But what they're really doing is they're helping support other channels greatly. I know I've benefited a little bit from being on their live streams and stuff, not as much as other people, but when I do tune in, I know I have benefited because people have seen my channel and stuff like that. And then they can come to those YouTube channels that TGH helps supports and get this amazing information from that. And TGH is almost like an operating hub in terms of they're bringing people in, and then they're almost, I don't want to say sending people out, but it's like a hub for a bunch of reptile keepers and enthusiasts to be in, and then they send them out to other channels so they can get the most correct information. So let's say that, someone goes on TGH, they're tuning into the live stream, listening to the hashtag positivity movement, and they're curious about ball pythons or boas or something like that. You have myself, you have ball and boas, you have all these people that care for ball pythons and boas, and they can read about them in the comments and then go, oh, this guy seems pretty interesting. Go onto their channel, check out their content, benefit from the information, and even if they never go and really watch that channel again, TGH has just brought everybody together. And you can see in their support base, I mean, I think they're getting pretty close to hitting 1,000 subscribers in what are they? I think they're at like 668. I can't check right now, but they're getting pretty close to hitting the 1,000 subscriber mark in a relatively low amount of time. Now, I know there's some other people that have done, not reptile related things that have really just blown up, but I really think that the power and the uniqueness that TGH has brought to the table is really going to help their YouTube channel out tremendously. Because like I said, while they don't touch on, they're not like a, what's this called? Clint's Reptiles or something like that, or probably butchering the name, but there's one guy out there that he does all these different care videos on a bunch of different species of reptiles and stuff like that. TGH is kind of like that, but instead of doing it and sort of bringing people together on a bunch of different species of reptiles, they're bringing people together into one community to help push the positivity movement and unite different reptile keepers and YouTubers in general, and it's really benefiting the community tremendously. And let's see, I haven't checked out the comments in a while. What do we got? That, and it's about helping one another with questions and stuff instead of getting blasted in FB groups. Yes, definitely. And what's going on, Matt Chiniski? Looks like we got 3 people watching now, and hopefully this we'll get some more views on the rerun. But yeah, honestly, seeing TGH and what they've done, nice to see you too, Matt. What TGH has been able to do and unite people, it's literally something I've never seen it before. You had BHB reptiles, and you have these sort of reptile forums that are not really built that good, that you can sort of type, but all this stuff is outdated. This is just a new way, and I really think that he probably, if he keeps doing what he's going to do, he's going to be very successful on YouTube. But I do believe that, I'm not going to try to do it, of course, but I do believe you're going to see some, once he gets enough subscribers, you're going to have not rip-offs, but sort of copies of that, which could be good or bad depending on how you look at it. But, you had BHB reptiles or, Snake Bites TV. They united a lot of people in the comments, but not in the same way that TGH has done it. They bring it almost more in as a very connected family way with, similar values in terms of keeping reptiles, the quality of the care, and all that stuff. Whereas the other big YouTube channels, while they can unite people, it's just not the same, personalized feeling that you get with TGH and other channels sort of like him, which, to be honest, there are very few, and I don't know very many that are even close to being his size. But I'm very excited to see how they grow their collection and different stuff like that, and I will also be growing my collection along. And it's very interesting to just watch, in the community, overall, sort of, I don't like to say comparing, because I don't think about it as in, oh my gosh, this guy's got a pied or a clown or this, and I need to one-up him on this. I don't do that, of course, but it's very fun to watch people and see how someone can go from keeping, just one ball python, and over, the course of 3, 4, 5 years, you see these people and they have, then huge, amazing collections, and the quality of the animals they're producing is just phenomenal. Or even you have some people that start out and they don't really know what they're doing, or they get a bad start, like we talked about in the beginning of this, getting ripped off. And then over time, they become the people that are, that can be a very valuable lesson, but we don't want it to happen that much. You could go out, get ripped off, and then say in the future, well, if I'm a breeder, I don't want this to ever happen to anybody else again, which can increase the quality of service and customer, I guess, service you could call it, that we are getting with these different people and breeders on YouTube. And the TGH platform is just huge. And I really think anybody watching, I'm sure most of you guys, I know 30 Family Balls and International Exotics. I know I've seen you guys before. I believe I've seen you guys before on the TGH live stream. If you guys watch, I'm telling you guys, you watch over the next, 2-3 years, I really think the channel is going to blow up in terms of the quality of content they're putting out, and the way that they're uniting people is just something we've never really seen on YouTube or in the reptile community before, especially in the scale that he is able to do it. I really think you're going to be able to scale up and reach an audience that is going to be very substantial and huge compared to, what they've been doing lately. And then what do we have? Yeah, 30, great place to hang out and talk with like-minded friends. Hey, yep. Once I get collection I spot, it'll be... Yeah, that'll be very cool. Exactly, yep. So trying to make this guy not escape. I should have actually probably brought down some different snakes and stuff like that to just show you guys and stuff like that. But I do have to get a better camera. This is just, like I said, almost Chromebook quality footage. This isn't going to be anything crazy. But I don't know. We'll go on a little bit longer in the live stream. If you guys have any questions, I've addressed most of the topics I wanted to discuss in this video. So if you guys have any, questions or comments or anything you'd like me to address, you can go ahead and put it down in the comment section or whatever you call the chat bar, basically, and I'll check it out and I'll see if I can touch on those subjects. But today is sort of feeding day. I have 2 feeding days that goes through. I use my phone. Yeah, phone can work pretty well. And overall, getting a phone is actually probably a very good idea. And I might be, what's it called? I think Go Herping uses a phone that's, not too bad in terms of the overall quality that it produces. And I like the phone because it's more, versatile and you can move it in different places. But yeah, phone will definitely be something I should consider. I have a phone, but this is actually doing better quality than that phone, which is definitely saying something. And today is feeding day, so I don't know if there will be any videos coming out today. I do have, again, I got to go to work, and I have some stuff I'm selling online and some people I have to talk to from 4 to about, hopefully it's not this long, but it might be till 4 and then till 10, just, selling different things online and then going out and making some connections just so I can, keep sort of upgrading my income because, I am, not even 18 yet. So I can't even, or even 16. I'm not even that age yet. So I can't really, drive cars and do different things like that, but I'm almost there. But with a phone, you could take it around and show stuff easier. Yes, that's definitely the main thing, especially if you were doing stuff, outdoors. This is inside and the Wi-Fi box is just over there. But especially if it's anything outdoors or moving around, the phone is definitely something I should consider. Future plans, if you're talking about ball pythons and stuff, in terms of the morphs, future plans. I got a few things that are not, I don't want to consider, how do I say it? I'm not going to consider them classified, but they're just new sort of dinker projects that I haven't even shown on this channel yet. But in terms of future plans for different things with the morphs that are on the market today, not dinker projects that I have going on. Main thing I really want to get into is basically the clown project. I've got quite a few females right now. They're all babies. I've got a pastel, lesser, and I also have a spinner, possible enchi, which I'm going to say there's no enchi in there, that are all het for clown. And I just want to produce some really nice clown stuff. And then hopefully I can also be able to get some more enchi, yellow belly, and even once, I have the caging for them, banana females, and this will be over the next 6 months because I really just want to sort of, I don't want to say jumpstart, but the way I've been growing my collection hasn't really been the most productive over the last few years. It's been where basically I get one snake one year and another snake the next year, and this is the real year that I've sort of got my income to the point where I can basically afford to not only pay for it and buy the snakes up front, but be able to either breed their food or have their food go along, or how do I say it, be able to pay for their food and electricity. And that's, basically how you're going to be able to grow a collection. So yeah, with future plans, basically, the clown project is something I really want to get into. And I think the bananas are going to be something that's going to be huge in the future because banana it's not recessive. so it's not going to be incredibly hard to produce. And just the colors on it are just incredible. You have pastels that look really sweet, and we're starting to see more pastels in stores and stuff like that. I'm talking about pet shops like, Petco and things like that, which I don't support. But, especially you already have normals in those sort of pet stores and stuff like that. We have some spiders that I see. I have some, I guess, I don't want to say connections, but I know some of the pet stores along. And when they get in new things, I go in there and I actually identify it for them just for free, just because I like to. But I see that they're getting in pastels, Mojaves, and spiders. And those are all great genes in themselves. But the banana with those lavender purples, the orange and the yellow, I truly think the banana project is a great project to get into. Not even because it's worth, a lot of money. Again, a banana is what, $150, which in, can be decent money, but again, it's not about the money. We're not going out here trying to, make a lot of money. Like I said, I have other jobs and stuff that I do as an income stream to sort of support this. This is not my main income stream with selling snakes, but the banana project, just the way it looks, and even just a basic banana just has such potential, I think, to grow as basically the most popular ball python that we've ever seen. Pastels are cool, but as they get older, if it's not the best line, they do darken out. And it's the same thing with bananas. But as that baby, that purple, lavender and stuff, every time I go to a pet store, if anybody in there knows anything about ball pythons, whether it be a small mom and pop store or even the Petcos, I'll talk to the employees and ask them. And a common theme I see a lot of the times is that they don't like spiders because of the head wobble, which I tell them, Champagne has some problems with that as well, but they don't really, spider gets a bad rap nowadays. And then banana, everybody says, I wish we got bananas in. And I really think banana is a great project that'll be something that I definitely want to get into and put that to clown and anything else I have. Do you plan on breeding snakes in the future? Yes, definitely. I actually have. You guys, I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Instagram. I know some people do. I think about 30% or something like that. I didn't do a poll, but I checked lots of the people, and it's probably like 25 to 30% of the people that watch YouTube follow me on Instagram. And on Instagram, I put some different stuff out, and we do have some locks going on right now with a, what do we have? Male spider going to a female pastel. And these are just, I don't want to call them low end, but they're sort of my base for building up sort of my collection. These are the animals I started out with: spider, pastel, Mojave, all the basics, butter, lesser. Pastel and spider hooking up, and those guys are actually really nice quality animals, so I'm hoping to produce some really nice bumblebees. The female's a bit small. She's just over 1,500 grams, so we'll see if she'll go or not. And then I also have a spider that should be locking with the Mojave relatively soon. I cool my snakes down, or, on my thermostat, I sort of get my snakes to go into, not hibernation, but into the breeding season sooner than most breeders. So what are we in? October? I think it's almost October. I think today is what, the 14th? So lots of my snakes are locking up right now, and I have seen some successful lockings. And hopefully, in the next, probably, if my timing is right, it should be April, May, and then some of June that will actually be hatching out some of the bumblebees and the Mojave spiders and stuff like that, which would be really cool. And all my bananas are het pied. Yes, that is a very good thing to get into. I love the pied gene, and to be honest, it's something that I do want to get into in the future. And, just the pieds, there's some things that I don't think are ever going to really lose value. And it's all about working with stuff that you like. I talk about losing value. And like I said, it has to be economically, supportable. But, you don't want to go up from the money side perspective. I'm sure you guys have seen stuff like Matt's Pets, and I don't support PETA in any way, but you see these big animal mills that are all about the money. And literally, if an animal's sick, they don't care. They kill it. Right there. If an animal has a problem, or if it's not growing fast enough, they don't care about it. They just kill it. And overall, that does destroy their brand in time. But that's how lots of those pet stores are being supplied. And I really think it is a disgusting practice that they do. Awesome. Thank you. But like I was saying, it's not all about the money, but it does have to be economically supporting, in my opinion. But yeah, the banana and the pied stuff, I was just watching a video today. A friend sent me that they went to the what was it? I think it's a Tinley Reptile Expo, and they were showing me a bunch of, what do you have? The dreamsicle, pieds, and then you also have, what is it? They show me, banana pieds, all this amazing stuff. I love the pied gene, and it's something I want to work with in the future. And the bananas, the pieds, the albinos, that bright stuff, that stuff that's really eye-catching to the new ball python person, I really don't think those are going to drop in value over time for a few different reasons. One is because they're recessive, because they're harder to produce. And the second thing is just, people are always going to want that amazing white blotch snake with the normal pattern, which is the pied. People are always going to be wanting that lavender colored snake as the albino, or actually more or less the banana. People are always going to be wanting that bright, clean white and the yellow. It's something that's never going to go out of demand. Pastels are cool. And if you put pastel with the right thing, it makes amazing combos. But, they look great as babies, but as they get older, they do dull out a little bit. And the average person, if given the choice between a pastel and a banana at the same price, they're going to choose the banana, in my opinion, almost every single time. Those are awesome. Love the pieds. Yeah, pied is something, after I get my clown project rolling and we get the females being raised up, I definitely want to get into pied. Pied and clown and probably lavender albino, to be honest, are my 3 favorite recessives. I have one snake, the pastel, that got bred to the spider. She is a 66% het lavender albino, and I got her specifically for that reason, because not only does she look amazing, and I think will produce good bumblebees in the future, but some of those pastel lavender albinos, those things coming out looking like an orange and white, and I think they're really pretty. I produce a lesser mahogany, I believe that's how you pronounce it, albino this year, but it's staying right here. Yeah, that's what I try to do. It's the same way with guinea pigs in the stores. They mix different sexes. You end up with pregnant or even sick guinea pigs. We get all from people who took care of them. We can't. Yep. That's great. Like the animal meals and stuff, I think, I'll be honest, and this is probably not something that many people are going to agree with, but I think animal meals, how do I say this without being too just straight? I don't want to beat around the bush, but animal meals have their place for a very short period of time. Now, right now, once you establish a breeding collection, or once there's an established population in the U.S. or whatever country it is, then I don't think animal meals, I think they should probably be shut down, and it shouldn't even really be legal to do them. But when you first bring animals in, animal meals do one thing and one thing only that's actually good. They produce a lot of animals in a short period of time. Doesn't have to do anything with quality, doesn't have to do anything with the care of the animals. They produce a lot of animals in a short period of time. And while they might have some place in Africa or in some place when they're first, bringing in, ball pythons or a new species to breed in captivity, after the first few months, once you have established colonies that are in the correct care, that are in good breeders' hands, I don't see any reason why animal meals really should exist. So, they have some regulations and stuff, but straight up, it's animal abuse. I know in some states, you abuse your dog or you abuse some sort of animal or something like that, you can get fined. I don't know about sent to jail, but you can get some pretty heavy punishments from the state. And then you have these animal mills that are running in that same state, and because they're paying taxes and the state is benefiting, they're not having any action taken against them, which is just, in my opinion, that's completely wrong, and that should not be the way that the system is set up. But I guess you have to beat the system before you can change it. And I know US ARC has done some amazing things with, not only supporting reptile breeders, but, with trying to shut down lots of these animal mills. And I think probably the biggest one is, I think it's called Max Reptiles or Max Pets. I don't ever watch their stuff, so I don't know the exact name, but you have these huge animal mills with guinea pigs and hamsters and, reptiles. And I've seen, you can go on PETA, and I don't trust everything PETA says, and they do fake some stuff, and they do lie lots of the times about how evil reptiles are and how many diseases and all this. Just, it's completely lies and false information. And that's why I love YouTube, because we can just completely rebut that and teach people the truth. But, PETA does show some truth through their sort of documentaries and stuff like that. And they have shown some, pretty horrific things where guinea pigs are literally getting their heads chopped off, or they're being thrown in freezers, or, hamsters, they're just being killed. And, while I feed my snakes rats, so I'm not going to say that I'm against killing animals if it's done correctly and humanely and the animals don't suffer. But when you have these people that are just taking rats or hamsters and just smashing them on tables to, put them out of their misery because they're sick or they're not growing right. And when you have, I've seen, what do they have? Cats and disease. It's just a horrible situation, but it's very cheap to produce them that way because it's very cheap labor that isn't skilled and doesn't actually know what they're doing. So the pet stores can buy them and have pretty good markups. But anybody that goes on YouTube, or Instagram, they're going to see these bad things that PETA has done, or not, well, PETA for one, but mainly the animal mills, the bad things animal mills have done. And hopefully through our sort of marketing and through our positivity movement and through everything that we put out, the effort we put forward on YouTube, hopefully that person can find one of our videos, learn the truth, and buy from someone who is not only educated, but, the information, and will support them throughout the sale, but somebody that's going to, take great care of their reptiles and not going to abuse them or do the horrible things that lots of these animals or these animal mills are going to do. Let's see. I haven't checked up on the comments in a while. If banana goes for the same as pastel, we're in trouble. Yeah. It'll get down. I honestly think it'll get pretty close at some point. Pastels are about, from the pet stores, pastels are 150, but online, pastels are 75. And bananas, I've never seen a banana in a pet store, to be 100% honest with you. But online, I know bananas are about 150 for a male. And you can even get, a spider banana or a pinstripe banana for like 175. And pastels are 75. So while it will take a while for bananas to work their price down, I think it will happen eventually. And, pastel is really going to hurt. And spider already is hurting because of how many people are putting forward all of these, sort of, I don't want to say hate speech, but they're putting forward things that are not true about the spider gene and its sort of neurological problems. And actually, in 1 minute, I'm going to go grab a spider just to show you guys and talk about it really quickly. But let me go through the comments real quick and see what's going on with you guys. So, awesome live. Ben, have a good day. I think International Exotics probably, he might have left already. Got to go. Great live, Benjamin. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching today's vlog, or today's, not vlog, live stream. And this was, again, like I said, just a test. And hopefully we went through some positive information. So whether you watch the live stream in person or whether you are going to be watching this on the replay, if I keep it up as a replay, hopefully you guys do benefit from this. Again, I apologize for the sort of touchy camera. And, of course, the audio is not going to be on point with what my content normally is at. And my voice is pretty hoarse because I've been talking for about coming up on 42 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end this stream soon. But as always, guys, try to stay positive. If you guys do have YouTube channels out there, I know many of you guys do. Matt Chernisky, I know, good point. Lots of these guys, Matt Chernisky, if you guys are watching, go check out his channel. Anybody that's in the live stream right now commenting, go check out these guys' channel, these people's channels. They have such amazing content. And as always, guys, I support you guys completely and fully when you're uploading stuff, as long as it's correct and truthful information. Try to teach people, to stay away from scammers and just keep being positive, guys. And thank you guys so much for watching today's stream, whether it's on the live or the replay. And I will see you guys in a future video. And